Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Today we're looking at I Saw You by Fred again. This was requested by a viewer. Shout out to you. Let's get straight into it. We'll start with the chords and we'll start super basic. This is really easy. You're going to be able to get this pretty quickly. The first chord, F sharp minor. Okay, and we're just going to start with basic triads. And to get familiar with the chords and to practice chords as well, let's do it in both hands. So F sharp minor in both hands. Nice and easy. Then the second chord, D major. Okay? And then that goes down to A major. And that's pretty much it. Those are the three main chords of this song, right? And the way that we count this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we hold the A major for an extra bar. Okay? Now, what you can do with these triads is you can actually make them feel a little bit more interesting by using what's called an arpeggio. This is one of the basic techniques. And so basically, what we do is we take the notes of a chord and we play it melodically, meaning we start from the bottom and go up to the top and come back down, like that. So what we can do is this. And so what that gives us is a couple of options for how we're actually going to play and perform this piece of music. And that's what we want. We want to have freedom. We want to have creative freedom to actually express ourselves on this instrument, right? That's how I teach the piano, and maybe you resonate with that style as well. So if you do, definitely subscribe to the channel. Okay, so let me show you how we can play it in a more interesting way. First, what we're going to do is we're going to play the root note as octaves, okay, for each of those chords. So the first chord is F sharp minor, so we're going to play an octave on the F sharp, right? And actually, let's do it down here so we get that really nice deep low bass sound, okay? Now in the right hand, we can just start with that F sharp minor, and it's going to sound like this. Really deep, rich sound, right? And then the next chord is D, so what are we going to do? We're going to move. You can either move the left hand down to this D, which is super low, or you can move it up to this D. For now, let's move it up, okay? So that's the first chord, and then we're gonna go here. Now, what is the right hand doing? It's so easy. All we've got is we've got this F sharp minor triad, and all we're doing is just switching from this note to this note with the pinky. And what does that give us? This gives us a D major triad in its first inversion. What does that mean? Well, if you take a look at the D major triad in a root position, which is what we looked at before, what we're doing when we turn it into a first inversion triad is we take the root note, which is D, and we put it up an octave, and then that's our new chord. Okay, so that's what we've got here. And then that moves. Of course, the left hand goes to an A, right? Because that's our next chord. And then the right hand also goes to an A major triad in what? Second inversion this time. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you take a look at the A major triad in root position, right? To get second inversion, what we do is we take the top note, which is the fifth, and we actually lower that an octave, okay? So that's what we've got, okay? Chord 1, chord 2, and chord 3. And if you want, you can sing along to this. Okay, so that is the chord progression, and I encourage you to actually play that along with the song. You can just play along with the song, and it's going to make you feel like you're actually a pro musician, right? A session musician in the studio. Okay, then later, throughout the song, there are various other things going on that, I mean, classic Fred again, the structure is kind of very malleable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a B section. So we're going to take the other chords in the song and we're going to create a B section from it. So what it is it kind of just goes to B minor, okay? So, if we take a look at root position B minor, that's root position B minor. Both hands to practice it, right? Now, the second way I showed you, octafy that bass, and then in the right hand, we're going to take this B minor triad and put that fifth down low to get the second inversion, B minor triad. We're going to play that, and then that goes to F sharp minor, and then it doesn't really do this, but this is what I did when I was playing around with a song, and I think it sounds great, is you go down from this F sharp minor to an E major triad. It just sounds good, okay? And this is Fred again. I mean, it's like the whole purpose of Fred again is like creative freedom and expression, so we can play around with the chords. You don't have to play it exactly as it's composed, right? So that is B minor, F sharp minor, going down to E major. Okay, cool. You can maybe repeat that. Okay, what did I do there? Well, instead of playing that root position E, I played it in its first inversion. Okay, cool. So that is a section in the song. Now, what you can do as well is you can kind of add a little bit of movement in the left hand if you want, by maybe just like alternating between those. Alternatively, you could hold the left hand and then in the right hand do those arpeggios I showed you before. Also, you can play it up an octave. You can play it up another octave. You can also just go back to the original triads I showed you. Hold the left hand and arpeggio the right hand. Okay, so what I'm showing you here are ingredients, and it's up to you how you put these ingredients together. Is that not music? Music is made of ingredients. And here's the great thing. If you learn the ingredients and if you practice the ingredients like this, you're going to have them in your hands and fingers. And guess what? Songs are made of ingredients. And so if you learn the ingredients of songs, you'll be able to play hundreds of songs. And it's just a much better way of learning the piano and learning music than slaving away at learning how to read music. And then when you can do that, great, you can read one piece of music, but that doesn't compound over time. Whereas if you practice what I call the basics of the piano, those skills compound over time. The more you practice them, the more you're going to be able to learn songs way quicker, because you understand the ingredients and you've practiced them physically in the hands and fingers. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, right? So the lesson there is to practice the basics, right? Triads, arpeggios. Yeah, I'll leave it at there for now. Okay, now let's add the melody, right? What's the melody? For now, let's just play in the left hand the triads. Okay, let's just play triads, right? F sharp minor, D to A. Let's do that for now while we learn the melody in the right hand. The melody starts on A. Kind of rides on the A for a little bit. Da, 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 da. And then it goes da, 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 da. Okay, so nice and easy. It just goes down to that G sharp for a little bit and then back up, right? And then the second phrase climbs up, right? So it does the same thing on the A and then climbs up to that C sharp, right? And then the third phrase goes like this. Something like that, right? Something like that. So it's like, right, so catch that E with the pinky, C sharp, B, C sharp, and then just ride on the C sharp, right? And then the final phrase, the ultimate phrase. Okay. So that is on C sharp, D, C sharp, B, A, and then just walks down from the C sharp. Alternatively, you could do this, which I think is quite pretty. First phrase, and then this. The same idea where you go down and then back up, okay? So the whole thing put together looks and sounds like this. Just to show you for reference, let's turn now the left hand into an arpeggio. Now hold the left hand. Okay, that's musical storytelling. Playing around with these ingredients in interesting ways to tell a story with your playing. That's what we're doing with music. We're telling stories and we're evoking emotions. Right? So, that's kind of like the main idea. Now, let's level this up to the next level. What we're going to do is we're going to play another arpeggio pattern where we're going to start with that foundation I showed you before of the octaves in the left hand, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into an arpeggio and we're going to climb up from the lower one to the top one using the fifth of the chord, okay? So we have the root, then we have the fifth, and then we have the octave, and then goes back to the fifth, okay? So this is a really common arpeggio pattern. And then you do the same for the D. Same thing for the A. Okay, so let's do that with the melody. Right, oh, sounds so good. Okay, and then you could do the rest of the melody. I've already showed you that. How can we level up the right hand? Right now, we're just playing the melody by itself, but what we can do is we can actually add a note with available fingers that aren't doing anything. Let's put them to action. The classic one is using the thumb. Let's put the thumb here on E, okay? I'm not going to explain the theory why this works. It just sounds good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play this E along with the melody notes. Listen to this. Right? It just sounds good, right? See that? I'm just playing it with every melody note. And it just gives it a little bit of extra something, right? And then the classic one. I'm also actually adding some other notes, right? Because the melody is this. But I'm playing that with the fourth finger and the fifth finger. But check out, these middle fingers are not in action. So let's put them in action. Let's put the second finger on the A. Right? Like that. And then this. What am I doing? I got a little bit sidetracked, but what I was doing was I was improvising over these chords that I've showed you how to play, okay? So I encourage you now to actually take what I've showed you and just improvise with it. Just play around with the notes I've already taught you. You don't have to know scales or anything. Just like take the notes that I've shown you. For example, the first chord, F sharp minor. So take these three notes and improvise with them like this. I do there? I literally just played the notes of that F sharp minor chord, right? And then you just keep going, you know? Okay, so that's improvisation, just playing around, and don't judge yourself if it sounds bad. It doesn't sound bad, you're just a pianist in training. Okay. I didn't really explain that part too, so it's kind of like and then we go to that B minor, and then F sharp minor. Alright, I'm going to leave the tutorial there. I really hope that this was helpful. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial. I decided to put a little bit more practical teachings in there based on my method and how I teach the keyboard and unlock the keyboard. So if you resonate with it, you can check out the link below if you want to speed up your progress. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time. Good luck practicing this stuff. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.